Do you mind taking the camera and facing it towards the other camera so that you're looking in one place? And
I'm here with my friend today, Shiva, Kailash, Shambho. I'm on day 3 of my what I call a dirty fast. So 3 days of dirty fasting and then 7 days of clean fasting. So in the dirty fast, you have maybe a beer, a cigarette, um, a bone broth, coconut water, watermelon. You can eat some fruits. So it's very flexible first 3 days for this fast. And then the next 7 days, it's going to be all water, pure, clean, natural water. And I'm going to go through a transformation through that process and that practice.
what is bone broth?
Bone broth is when someone that you probably don't know gathers animals together. So, like, gathers chickens together, for example, butchers them and kills them and cuts out all the meat to sell at the store. And then they take the bones from that animal that was just alive and they boil all those bones up and maybe add some spices or some salts, and then you consume that. So you consume the life energy of that being. You consume the life energy of the animal that's bones you boiled.
Well, you don't consume the life energy because the life energy is gone. You killed it.
I
You're just
didn't do it.
well, you paid somebody to kill it, but you're just consuming the bone juice.
I don't know if I would literally do that. I don't know if I would literally pay someone to kill an animal for me. I don't know that I would do that. I don't
But
think that I would.
okay, you're just profiting off of the people that kill animals.
Nutritionally.
Sure.
Okay. Nutritional profit from the murder of animals.
Yeah.
I want to give an update for the Monk Life Meditation community. Our dear friend Coop has gotten through his 10-day Vipassana retreat, a bit of a strange fella. And he says he feels grounded, he feels good. So I'm happy for him. And shout out to Cyro Soul for an early Christmas gift. For those who don't know, Dr. Rob is very excited to be live streaming right now, and I couldn't get it off my mind. This is Christmas Eve, so I'm very excited about waking up tomorrow morning, receiving a lot of gifts and presents from the members of the community, and I'm just like a buoyant child in the ocean, in the water, just bobbing up, floating up with a lot of excitement. Okay, so. It's Christmas. Everybody's Christmas Eve. Let's get excited. Let's get empowered. Let's get the energy coming out of our bodies and into the everythingness of reality.
Let's get some W's in the chat.
Yeah, shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone who's here in the present moment. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. It's one of those things where waking up can seem to be difficult, or sometimes I wake up schizophrenic. sometimes I wake up, what's going on? Where are those voices? What are those voices saying? What are those energies saying inside of myself? Should I become depressed for the rest of my life? Should I jump off of a bridge that's not very high to a very deep, wonderful body of water? Probably not, because this is actually the heaviness of one of the main hindrances, one of the fundamental hindrances, which is the hindrance of sloth and torpor, that tiredness, that sleepy tiredness. So, and I was thinking the same thing this morning, because some people were asking, I've been collaborating with a friend of mine, Shiva Kailash Shambho, who's a follower of Sadhguru. And somebody was asking, what is enlightenment? And enlightenment is no suffering. That's what enlightenment is. Enlightenment is no suffering, no dukkha, no unsatisfactoriness. So, I mean, it's like the wealthy people, if you were a millionaire, you'd probably be hanging out at your villa in Italy as well, wouldn't you? Who can really blame them? We can't. Would we be any better if we were overflowing with the resources, the cash, the money in the bank account that just keeps paying us? We don't need to work. And the last thing we want to do is deal with the poor people that don't have taste. I was thinking about this too, because the education system is kind of like a gift from the wealthy people, because the wealthy people, they can already pay, they're paying French chefs and Korean debutantes to spend time with their children and teach them dancing when they're 7 years old, right? But for the fucking poor people like you and me and all everybody else, we can't pay anybody. We can barely get by. We don't know where to get fruit or to get the oil out of the ground for the car. So we have to they got to do something for us. And what they seem to do for us is give us this school. So good on them. Good on the wealthy people. Good on the Donald Trumps of this world that say, hey, it is safe to be a white man again. Or what JD Vance said. He said, we have changed America in a short period of time where you don't have to be ashamed to be a white man. That sounds good to me. Where a white man can walk with his head held high, pedophile or not. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein, that whole thing, let's just put it under the rug and move forward. Donald Trump for 2026 or 2027 or 2028, whatever.
Of course, Mankind donated $2. He says, we pay for push-ups. You sore from last night, Shiva. Yes, I am sore. How many push-ups do you want me to do? I'll do them. And maybe Dr. Rob can improve his camera quality by getting a tripod and showing his beautiful, handsome face in a way that
Yeah.
we can all
Get
see.
a
And
tripod. Get a tripod. Bring me the tripod of my ancestors. Bring me the tripod of those who have come before me. I don't know the way I am, because Thich Nhat Hanh, he's always talking about connecting with your ancestors. You know what I mean? Like you have a lineage through your parents, through your parents' parents, a familial lineage of not just genetics but also culture and all that. And I'm thinking about that, and I'm saying, if I could get a hold of my ancestors, I'd probably have a lot of complaining to do.
thank you, Corpse Mankind. I will recover today. Tomorrow for push-ups.
W's to gratitude to Cyro Soul. Gratitude to the members of this community, whatever that means to you, whatever that is for you. I tell you, I don't just do this for myself. and I wouldn't be doing it if it was just me here. But we've got a lot of really wonderful artists in the community and human beings in the Sangha. So shout out to them, W's in the chat for them. Give yourself a pat on the back, and you certainly you have my gratitude.
Life is about energy. We want to give you energy, and we want to create a powerful energy space. And I enjoy being here. I don't want to do this only for money, actually, which partly I am. YouTube is my job, my career. That's what I've chosen. I don't want to profit off of that. But that's not all that there is.
This
We have
guy's
a
really
community here.
dramatic.
We have a community here. We're here with people. All of you here are we're all together. We're all in a giant circle. And that's what's most valuable to me because people don't survive alone and they survive better
And who
together.
here who
Right.
made sure to watch the video yesterday? Who made sure to watch the live stream? Wasn't that incredible live stream? Wasn't that so potent? It was like ayahuasca. It was like DMT somehow through the field. Was released through that live stream. Anybody else feel that? I was so tuned in. I was so happy about that. This live stream is about mindfulness and detachment, enlightenment, Buddhism, meditation, freedom from suffering, etc. W means a win. W means a good. W means you've got my support. So for anybody who can't make a substantial donation to Dr. Rob under the Christmas tree on Christmas Eve and Christmas morning, he wakes up, he looks at his phone, and he says, "Whoa, my gosh!" And all those people are going to be on Dr. Rob's nice list. You can be on Dr. Rob's nice or naughty list, depending on how much you donate. But if you can't do that, W's will work just as well. I'm looking for some W's under the Christmas tree, everybody. W's under the Christmas tree. From Scotland. What a joy. How great. W's under the Christmas tree, everybody. Hold on here.
Where do we take from never
Whoa,
getting
whoa, whoa,
back?
whoa, whoa. Copyrighted
Should
music.
we feel when our time runs out? Will emptiness be all that's left? Is this how we justify ourselves? Where you
It's Christmas, baby. Come on, everybody. W's in the chat for Christmas. This is my Christmas present.
are we content with how it's going to end? When the meaning of our lives is slowly fading, do we
We got a super chat in the chat. Of course, mankind donates $5, and he says, "Quote: Freedom from suffering." End quote. Question mark. Viktor Frankl says, "What is to give a light must endure burning. Unnecessary suffering is bad. Meaning-based suffering." Smiley face. Do you agree with that,
You
Dr.
might
Rob?
not believe it, but this is actually, I'm very proud. I have to say, I'm very proud. That's actually a very sincere student and follower and practitioner in the monk life meditation community. I don't know how well you could hear the lyrics or the specific words, but it's quite nice. And this is the fire. In the Bible, it talks of the coming age of brimstone and fire. I'm not saying they made that for me. I'm just saying that's a part of their work. That's a part of the creative prowess of collaborators and members of this community. What I'm saying is that the Bible speaks of brimstone and fire. The Bible speaks of a time and an age. The Bible speaks of a time and an age when all retribution will take place without recompense for the desires of the people. Now, this is the true nature of cause and effect, of grasping onto appearances. So we can enjoy it, we can appreciate it, we can like it all we want, but we have to become men of fire, women of steel. We have to know how to use the law with mindfulness and detachment. We have to know how to break the law with mindfulness and detachment. The law of your ego, the law of the self, the law of the preconceived notions about how you act and what you do when you feel like this at this time. For what? Towards what? Practicing what? To do good deeds limitlessly with mindfulness and detachment, concerned with the path of ending suffering. We get a little bit more specific, concerned with the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. We get a little bit more specific and practical, doing good deeds, doing actions of generosity limitlessly through and as the present action of mindfulness and detachment, allowing calmness and extinction to override the programming of the self narrative. This is Christ's wish. This is continuing the work of Christ. This is continuing, this is walking in the footsteps of Christ, walking through Christ. As we practice this properly, our entire bodies and minds will become transparent, translucent. And so that translucent body of mindfulness and detachment, that translucent body of meditative absorption will not just walk in the footsteps of Christ, but will walk through Christ's body and mind himself, thereby finishing, resolving, ending the debate of, is the wine truly the blood of Christ? Is the Eucharist, is the bread truly the body of Christ? We won't ask that question because we will be walking out ahead of Christ through the translucent nature of our body, through the power of the present action of mindfulness and detachment.
Do you think suffering is needed?
And look, I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to get the nuclear codes from the Pentagon. But the greatest protest, the greatest war that we can participate in, the greatest expansion of our dominion that we can participate in is the present action of the evocation, the revocation of the free access pass of the self, of views, of opinions, of phrases, of conceptual narratives. Neither samsara nor nirvana. That is the stone fire in the steel that is allowed through the willingness to break precepts with detachment. If you're not holding precepts with detachment, then breaking it's not going to be any better or worse. You're going to have to get real before you can get enlightened. Now, there's two ways to get real. One way, you get real about the nightmare that is yourself, the nightmare that is the real true person and the real true story that you call you. And nobody wants to deal with that. You don't have to, because that's fucking bullshit. The other way is that you start to get concerned and take refuge in the Dharma. The Dharma allows you to be schizophrenic. The Dharma allows you to be retarded. The Dharma allows you to be a suffering, unkempt, impoverished, weak, lost human being. And it shows you that the light of the Buddha, the light of the mind, that is unencumbered by notions of light and darkness, body or mind or whatever, is already your nature. Or as the great teacher once said, this is it. Whether you like it or not, this is it. This is your life. Like a stone falling at 1,000 miles per hour from the sky, from space, landing on the tip top of your head and stopping and saying, wait a minute, how did I get here? Who is at the door when there's no knocking? What is a question mark when straightened out by sincerity, by authenticity? We had a conversation with some group of, crazy people recently in a place that will not be named. I was facilitating and leading a discussion full of crazy people. And the question came up, what is enlightenment? He said it like this. He said, what is enlightenment? I wish he said it like that. He said, what's enlightenment about? Do you think enlightenment is blue or green? Do you think enlightenment is real or not real? And I said, look, there are real questions, there are fake questions. And a real question, like what is anger? What is truth? What is this? With all the heart, with all the body, with all the mind, it's a contemplative introspection. It's a driving pillar of intimacy, of authenticity, of seeking that is undeniable, that doesn't go towards anybody else, is not about anybody else. What's in my ass? Only you know what's in your ass. Nobody else knows what's in your ass. Nobody else knows what's in your mind. Now, for the ego, this is uncomprehendable. This is unfathomable, that only you know what's in your mind, because that would mean that you are fundamentally schizophrenic. So what I'm saying here, friends, is that a real question is not intellectual. A real question is a manifestation, an expression of a deep search, a deep seeking. So the question, what is this, could lead you to enlightenment, could be your entire path. And in the same way, a million questions from the highest IQ score of the world, with access to all the AI models in the world, with the access to all the spiritual Dhamma teaching books in the world, and all the spiritual Dhamma teachers, monks and nuns being slaves of you to answer your questions and to go follow your intellect around with you, and you still wouldn't get it. So it's not the question, it's the right question. That's not true either. It's the right intention, it's the right quality of questioning. Just like with the actions you take. If you fart or if you don't fart, that's not inherently good or bad, regardless of how it smells. It's your intention. If you're intentionally farting, it's your intention in farting that creates the karmic quality of that fart, of that effect for yourself. It's not about if you yell at somebody or you don't yell at somebody, it's the underlying intentionality in you doing that. Like calling somebody a retard or whatever. It's the underlying intention on now, you're not nobody's gonna know about their underlying intentionality in any way unless they're looking inside, looking into the mind, looking into the nature of the mind, penetrating into the mind, investigating the mind, not just staying out in this worldly views and worldly opinions and worldly stories and narratives. What do you have to say about that, young Shiva Kailash Shambho? This is my younger brother on the spiritual path. What do you have to say about that?
I have to say that a question allows a Dharma practitioner to outpour his wisdom onto the person asking the question. A question is a receiving invitation and an opening up of the mind. Regardless of what question it is, what kind of question, where it comes from, how it's phrased, to the degree to your openness, every question is saying, my mind is open to you. I'm willing to receive your knowledge and your wisdom. And most importantly, your energy.
I got some energy for you, Shiva. A battle of non thinking, a war of attritionless awareness, awareness without attrition. Let's get some W's under the Christmas tree, everybody.
We need one more vote until we have 100 votes on the question of, are you enlightened? Let's see what the results are. So, Dr. Rob, how do you feel about the current state of my YouTube channel? Focus on YouTube.
Oh, Christmas tree, a joy from you to me. Oh, Christmas tree, Santa is so free.
Contensity has a Kailash symbol right next to his name. That means he's special and wise. And the only way you can get that is being a paid member of my YouTube channel
Oh my
community.
God, this guy selling his paid memberships of his YouTube channel.
No, I'm sorry.
Listen, everybody. I want to be clear about something right now, okay?
You can't be clear on your brightest day, Dr. Rob. It's impossible. This is an ego battle, Christmas ego battle. Buddha versus Jesus. And Christ always wins. Corpse Mankind says, I hate when Dr. Rob's ego shows so clear. Can you be enlightened? So 104 people have answered the question of, are you enlightened? Are they enlightened? What do you think the results are, Dr. Rob? I'm going to give you a guess. Do you think most people said yes, they are enlightened, or most people said no, they are not enlightened? Dr. Rob loves dodging questions and going above being high and mighty and not even paying attention. So I will give you the answer here. I will reveal the truth. Out of 107, almost 108 people that have answered the question of are you enlightened, 64% say no, and a whopping 36% say yes. That is a one third say no, and two-thirds say no, two-thirds say no, one-third say yes. So out of all the 108 people that are here, 33 of them are enlightened. 36% of them are enlightened. That is impressive. Please send us your enlightening energies our way and your way. That's fantastic news. So the topic and the question that naturally comes up is, can you have an ego while you're enlightened? And my answer to that question is, why not? Where will your ego go? Where will your ego go? You don't just have a regular ego, you have an enlightened ego. It becomes much greater and much higher, much more powerful and much more pronounced.
All right. That's enough of that. You're making me anxious, Shiva.
Really? I have that kind of power.
Well, it might be the cigarette, or it might be the nicotine, or it might be you, or it might be unfathomable cause and effect.
Or it might be that you need to practice more mindfulness and detachment and not conclude that others cause you misery or anxiety.
I don't know that I would take much advice from you, Shiva.
Well, that's good that you don't know. That's an opportunity for learning and growth. Nobody can cause us anxiety. Nobody can cause us stress or misery. It's simply a lack of competence of how you handle yourself. So if somebody causes me anxiety, I recognize instantly that there's some fear in me, there's some hesitation, there's some doubt, there's some this, that, or the other thing. There's some anxiety, and I need to meditate. I have a 100% wall barrier around me that can't be penetrated. And if somebody does penetrate it, it's not their fault, it's my fault because I take responsibility 100% for the way that I feel and the
So
way that
these
I
are these are very conditional teachings. These are low dharmic teachings, more like psychological. It's what we can see is that your enlightenment has penetrated into your ego in a limited way. So for example,
am.
to say that to a child that is in the oceanic state would be ridiculous. Wouldn't make any sense. So what we're really working to do here is to dissolve the notion of self in a real way, to a real degree, where separation itself is irrelevant. That is the greatest boundary or barrier. That is the barrierless barrier. So, you have a lot. You still have a lot of very serious practice to do, Shiva. And my experience has been that these 10-day Vipassana retreats do not quite work for that. These 10-day Vipassana retreats work as a practice when you are under the umbrella of a dharmic path, of a guru, of a master. And if you're not under that kind of umbrella or in that kind of stream, then basically these 10-day Vipassana retreats are just going to fill up the energy inside of yourself to continue perpetuating the self. Now, if you do have some insight, it can help, but it has to be a part of a path. Otherwise, we get into this outflow of, I'm actually enlightened. I know that I'm actually enlightened, and that doesn't actually make any sense from a right view. So listening to Ajahn Sumedho. So like Shiva, I know that you've said that you've practiced with the Ajahn Brahm tradition to various degrees. You've listened to Sadhguru to various degrees. You're practicing meditation every now and again, regularly to various degrees. But what you really need to do, Shiva, is you need to be listening to Dharma teachers and Dharma masters. You need to listen to the Dharma. And this kind of space is actually very suitable to listening to deep Dharma. And actually, Sadhguru doesn't have a lot of deep Dharma on the table that's very accessible because he wants people to go and do Shiva Shambho and get initiated, which is fair enough because he's doing all this other work. But for people who get some of that opening and some of that space, we want to listen to the highest quality Dharma that we possibly can. And that's for me too. I'm saying that to myself as much as I'm saying that to Shiva. That's a message for the ego. That's a message from the self. So constantly starting from scratch, removing the sense or the notion of progress, and this restart and refresh point, this 0 point, is the real spiritual unfolding, the real spiritual path. So the kind of advice that you're generally giving people is just, it's just something for them to be convinced by and then shake their heads and agree in. But there's nothing to don't agree on here. I'm always watching my students, actually. I'm always watching my spiritual friends or fellow practitioners, in this uh, Mahayana Dharma, great Dharma gathering to see that they're not just, I agree. It doesn't matter that you agree. You agreeing is superfluous at best. So the investigation into direct experiencing, you know?
Yeah. Dr. Rob has made a calamitous mistake by joining me on this live stream today here. He is going to get the wisdom that he needs by me teaching him subtly. What I'm going to do to Dr. Rob here is push him over the edge of the cliff of life, birth, death, and the beyond. Dr. Rob is sitting there nice and comfortable, but his energy, spirit body, or his lessons, I'm going to gently nudge with my hands closer and closer and closer to emptiness, to empty space, and push him over the edge of uncertainty, where he falls for all of eternity onto not knowing, not clinging, not attaching, not Buddhism, not Dharma, not anything.
Now, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see somebody like Shiva, me and Shiva, listen to the video, the live stream, the kind of DMT live stream that happened is kind of a spiritual city. It was a spiritual experience. And I would like to see us go through that text, go through those teachings and step by step, unpack and extrapolate upon our understanding of the real Dharma I, the real wisdom nature, opening the real Dharma I, not this kind of pseudo ego. Because for me, I make sure that it's all separate. Dr. Rob's ego doesn't want anything to do with anybody here. He wants to be a millionaire, a billionaire. He'd like to have 10 to 20. He'd like to have as many wives as possible. And he'd like to have homes around the world. He'd like to have a international political leader passport. He'd like to travel with gold chains and 1 kilogram, 24 karat gold chain. He doesn't want anything to do with any kind of things going on here, social agreeing or disagreeing. He wants to be aloof. He wants to have an army of Maorian 6'5", 300-pound bodyguards that are devoted to him and in protecting and serving his 20 wives from different countries, and as he travels on his private jet. But when it comes to the Dharma, no, 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 no. Dr. Rob's not the authority. So let's go into the highest dharmas that we can get our hands on, and let's explore that, and let's talk about that. Let's investigate that. That's one option. That's one invitation on the table. You know. Dr. Rock, people say this is a gay thing. No, this is Joseph's multicolored robes. I want to march in the streets of India with my Mauryan bodyguards, my wives from all around the world, my hundreds of children, and I want to create a people's revolution for the Indian Dalits, for the elephant whisperers. I want to get the elephant key. I want to get the elephant key and march with elephants in India because of a psychic communication between me and animals. That's what I want. But this is not about I, me, my opinion, my perspective, my position, because the Dharma, the great and profound Vajra vehicle, yeah, the wisdom vehicle facilitates the diamond cutting of notions, of dualities, of positions, of people and places. And what we can see is that we can either take refuge in our ego and in other people's egos, or we can take refuge in the truth that is truthless, the
Of course,
truth that is without truth or falsity.
mankind, you need to upgrade your level and status by having a Kailash image and a nice colorful name. That way, anytime you express yourself, you'll get a nice status symbol boost right next to your name. So join the channel membership. You're exclusively invited.
We've got some comments for Shiva over here because I tell you what, this guy's ego, he's got a big ego. Because the way that I've been berating him, shaming him, embarrassing him, exposing him, in just you couldn't even put it into words. You couldn't even write a book about it. Talk about a presidential debate. And yet, he's still willing to show up. He's still willing to submit to my authority. He's still willing to crawl back on his hands and knees and beg me. You should have seen the message he sent me this morning. He said, apologizing, begging, saying he's going to change, saying he's going to take a different approach. You should have seen the energy this guy was sending me. Please, he said, please just come back on. I'll take a different approach, right? But anyways, the reason that I brought that up is because we have some people on my live stream over at the Monk Life Meditation channel actually praising Shiva. And these are actually well-known members of the community that are practitioners and quite truthful. And one said, who's a beautiful artist, they said, I appreciate Shiva. He makes me see myself clearer. He also teaches me patience. And a real good friend of the community, Shelley, said, Shiva is helping us to look at ourselves too with a sunflower. And it's true. I was on the Matan Evans podcast. I was an invited guest on the Matan Evans podcast. I was also interviewed by Kai Cenat for over 30 minutes, and I G-checked Kai Cenat multiple times. So I wonder how many people here can say that they've G-checked or that they've put in their place and stepped back one of the most famous people in the world multiple times live with tens of thousands of people.
Yeah, anybody that doesn't say that you're responsible for your emotions, what's happening inside of your body and mind, shouldn't be a Dharma teacher. You are, of course, responsible for what's happening inside your mind, your emotions, your energy, and your body to some extent. The body can be poked, can be thrown water on, but nobody can do that to your mind. That's something you do to yourself. That's an infliction you cause on yourself. So when you feel fear, worry, that's when you have to investigate and look deeper because that's what you're doing to yourself. You're doing that to yourself. Don't do that. Keep going towards the edge. Keep going on the edge of uncertainty, of feeling fear, of anxiety, of not knowing, and fall. fall into the emptiness of space.
Somebody's saying, who was it that you G checked again? What was the name? Just go ahead and Google who is the most famous black content creator for people under 30 in the entire world. And what will return to that questioning is of course Kai Cenat.
Yeah. So spirituality, as we all know, is about energy. It's not about teachings or learnings or philosophies or knowledge. It is about energy. What kind of energy? All kinds of energy. The more energy you get into your body, the more energy you will have, the more your consciousness will open up, and the more free you will be.
And also those people that agree with Shiva and they don't agree with Dr. Rob, you should look a little bit closely at what your relationship with Shiva is. You should question what exactly is your understanding or position of Shiva's relationship with Dr. Rob. What's actually going on here? And is this really about agreeing with Shiva or agreeing with Dr. Rob? Or is that just your ego grasping for straws of thoughts, of stories about what's happening here? And that is, really a gift that this Shiva character shares and invites us to experience is watching as you step forward, as you go into direct experience, as you go into intimacy with what's happening now, whether you like it or not. Are you able to detach from thoughts? Are you able to take responsibility for your own attachment in terms of what's happening, your own conceptual narrative of what's happening, and why automatically is that understanding correct or real or true? Why would it be? And of course, it's a question for you to ask yourself. It's not a question for you to explain yourself or justify yourself because we can't explain ourselves. We can't justify ourselves. We can't prove anything. I can't prove I was a monk for 7 years. Shiva can't prove that he's enlightened. I can prove that Kai Cenat, one of the most famous black men in the world, period, globally, worldwide. I don't think there's that many famous black people in China. If there were, then probably somebody would
Really,
be
right?
more famous in China. This is true. Shiva doesn't, because Shiva likes to consider himself the ego guru, but Dr. Rob is actually out egoing him. Anyways, listen closely at this, right? The most famous one of the most famous black men in the world, certainly the most famous black live streamer in the world, interviewed Dr. Rob for more than 30 minutes. Now, how can I prove that? Well, I can't prove that, but you may be able to prove that to your own ego by searching on YouTube for Kai Cenat monk. That's all you got to search for, Kai Cenat monk, and you will see Kai Cenat himself interviewing me for over 30 minutes and also being G checked multiple times.
Let me say something. Let me say one thing. First of all, Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk, 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 a black version of Charlie Kirk, a black version of Charlie Kirk, a black version of Charlie Kirk.
Yes. The next thing is being saved. Can anybody be saved? Nobody can save you. Maybe Jesus came into your life and saved you in quotes, but he didn't really save you. He just gave you some help. You are the only one that can save yourself. Take responsibility for your life. Take radical responsibility for how you feel. Take 100% responsibility and ownership over your goddamn life. 100%. And do it. And the people that are watching this and that are commenting regularly, if you're my fans, I encourage you and I hope that you join my channel membership like my friend
Well,
Contensity
this
has.
yeah, join his
When you
channel
see him
membership.
comment,
Go to his website, join his Discord, send him a bunch of money, help this guy out. He's a wonderful guy. He's a really nice guy. I'm very sensitive about my energies. Some of the people here that know me know that I'm a very sensitive guy, and this is a guy whose energy I'm happy to work with and experience. But I want to say this. Oh, this is a kind of third wave spirituality. Just FYI, everybody. So first wave Western spirituality is the gurus that came to the West in like the zeros to the 60s, the 1800s or the 1900s to the 1960s, that whole situation, right? Second wave is their students and the people that connected with them getting empowered and becoming teachers or whatever. And this is third wave. This is millennial spirituality. This is a different degree, right? So me and Shiva both, we grew up without access to technology, kind of. There was no TikTok, there was no social media. You'd have, like, I used to have AOL Instant Messenger, and I remember very closely. I would try to, like, Neopets. You remember Neopets, Shiva? He's Canadian, so he's kind of been
Tamagotchi, Tamagotchi.
not Tamagotchi. Anybody here know what Neopets is?
The Arctic
Any-
Sunflower says, I will donate $1,000 to whoever makes a meal and shares it with 20 homeless people for a video. You have to join them for the meal though. You can't run away. Happy solstice.
All right.
500 now, 500 when it's done.
Arctic sunflowers. Shiva's not equipped to do that. I am. I have a lot of experience in that work. If you'd like me to do an operation like that, send me a message on WhatsApp, and you'll have a video in the next week or 2 weeks or whatever. And how about, will it be fair for the homeless people to be homeless monks? You get even more merit that way. Get even more blessings that way. But we can also do homeless people. I'm just not sure where to find the homeless people right now, but I will find them. And yeah, that would be 1,000 up front based on trust. Anyways, so what I'm saying is that this is a kind of new era and a new way of meeting the common needs of new generation, avant-garde, ironic, sarcastic, a lot of different elements going on here. So that's something to consider. This is a new wave of spiritual practice and teachings in some avenues. So some people may not understand it, but yeah, but you also don't have much of a relationship with, that generation that is not your generation. So this is a very different situation from 50-year-old people, 60-year-old people, 70-year-old people generally, especially middle-aged white men.
Contensity asks, and shout out to his Kailash picture right next to him. Shout out to him. Best spiritual movie. Well, I'll tell you the best spiritual TV show, which is the Avatar Last Airbender. That movie will change your life, you watching it, or a TV show. Best spiritual movie. There's lots of movies that I rewatch constantly. One of them is The Bourne Legacy with not the Matt Damon guy, the other guy, some other guy. That's a good movie, high quality movie. I rewatched that many times. There's lots of movies I rewatch. The Hummingbird Project is also a fantastic spiritual movie that will change your life. And There's so many juicy good movies that I rewatch all the time. Um,
We've got an interesting comment coming in from Weeble Wobble. You know that song, right, Shiva? Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Now, this is also a fundamental aspect of spiritual development. How hard, how far have you wobbled and not fallen down?
the movie is called Apocalypto.
No,
That
that's
movie
Mel
you should watch.
Gibson stuff, man. That's racist stuff. You're just
Yes,
saying racist stuff.
2006. Mel
All
Gibson.
right,
Yes,
listen, everybody. This guy, Weeble
correct.
Wobble, said Shiva is the Frodo of spirituality, blue eyes and height included. Dr. Rob is Gandalf the White. Now, that's something that I can get behind. What say you, Shiva?
Weeble Wobble lives up to his name. He's weebling here, we're wobbling there. He can't stand up straight. You need to lay off the drink, my friend, and have some sturdiness and stability to you. Then I'll take you seriously.
Nice. Oh, we also do have an image that was created by members of Shiva's community. The question was asked, if you had to create an image of who Shiva really is, what would that image look like? And this is what the community came up with.
uh, Weeble
Everybody
Wobble.
look at this, okay? Everybody look at this picture. Do you see what this picture is? Anybody see who's in this picture? We've got Sadhguru in the background crying. Shiva's at Mount Kailash. He's turned himself into a pale white clown, maybe because of his just lack of taking refuge in deep dharma as he goes along this journey. And of course, that's the devil. That's the devil not of not practicing sense restraint, but that's the devil of ego, attachment to profit, fame, status, and all that, and using his entrance into the way to also profit off of disrepute and status. Very dangerous path. Look at that. Sadhguru's crying in the background. And we have another praise. We have another positive comment for Shiva from Shelley. Shelley says, Shiva seems to practice sense restraint seriously. Semen retention and veganism shows in his skin and energy. And good on you, Shiva, for that practice. I really respect that. I really look up to that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's important to give positive feedback to people, especially people that need it, because it encourages people. And sometimes you forget your positive qualities, your good qualities. You may know you're a good person, whatever, but somebody reaffirming your strengths is so needed. It's like food for the soul. So, what are some positive qualities that I can give of Dr. Rob? None right now, but I'll think of some. Oh, I got one. If there's ever a box that needs to be moved from A to B, and if it's high up somewhere, call Dr. Rob. He's got your back. And
Uh,
if there's ever somebody in trouble, he's coughing or he has some health emergency, definitely don't call Dr. Rob because yeah.
um, we've got a question here from Brennan. Brennan says, thoughts on fast food, Shiva?
Fast food is good because it's fast. What other food is there? Either it's fast or it's slow. If it's slow, then it's already moldy and dirty and cold. It's got to be quick. 15 minutes or less. Let's go, baby. Fast. I know what he means. I'm joking. Eat raw, organic, vegan food. That's the best. Wake up in the morning. Don't eat anything for 2 or 3 hours. Definitely don't drink coffee. Eat some fruits. Wait 2 or 3 hours. Eat your next meal. And then that's it. What are you gonna eat 3 meals a day for? And then sleep 10 hours. But that's just me.
And I would say for don't drink coffee. Shiva says coffee is fake energy. But here in the way of mindfulness and detachment, you have to learn how to practice mindfulness and detachment with everything. You need to know how to break the laws with mindfulness and detachment. You have to know how to follow the laws with mindfulness and detachment. You have to know how to use everything. And that's something that I feel me and Shiva are currently practicing together, um, with each other's egos and with each other's egos in a community environment, which is a really good example for people. Um, and that is that, this is an example of, it doesn't matter how strongly held your views or opinions or thoughts are about the other person, just shut the fuck up and go back to spirituality. You're sitting in here and whining about how this person does this and that. When's the last time you masturbated?
3 years
You're
ago.
uh, I'm talking about in the analogy, and what are you eating? You're eating dead animals. You killed our community dog so that you could make bone broth. You know what I mean? So why don't you focus on that and dealing with your energies, your internal energies, rather than focusing so much on this kind of superfluous interpersonal drama that really doesn't matter. It doesn't. And being able to see through that and to communicate with each other, to offer protection to each other. This is something that's really important. Um, to share resources with each other, to communicate with each other in all kinds of different ways. And this energy and this connection that's being shared out with people around the world is making a difference, and that's the truth.
Hmm. I want to mention something about coffee because coffee is a negative pranic food, which means if you consume it, your own pranic energy, life force energy, will get diminished and get consumed by trying to process the coffee. In addition to this, coffee is a nervous stimulant, which is good if you need your nervous system to be stimulated. Maybe you wake up in the morning and you're tired, you sip one or two or three sips of coffee, and your energy gets boosted because it stimulates. It's like gasoline on a fire. You haven't added, you haven't really added new fuel, you just kind of stimulated it very intensely. And that's good to do once in a while, here and there. Better to exchange hot cocoa for coffee, in my opinion. It's better, healthier for you. But even hot cocoa is also a negative chronic and a nervous stimulant. So I do drink coffee on occasionally. Actually, I don't. I drink hot cocoa sometimes if I want to drink some hot cocoa and get stimulated and feel the feeling of woken up. That's good. But you don't want to rely on throwing gasoline on a fire because it's bad news. And you want to wean off of that. You want to build your own energy naturally through eating fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains, legumes, drinking plenty of water, getting sunlight, exposing yourself to nature, not releasing your energy through sexual activity. And that's about it. And then watching my YouTube videos.
The thing with the makeup and the drooling and the yelling and screaming is that it's a commentary on the way that our social dynamics are currently allowing us to be. So, how you would be willing to be in a community or in a society or in a communal space is what would allow people to give and share attention with you, right? So, in this algorithmic space now, people are very comfortable with insanity. People are very comfortable with bullshit. People like to have their cortisol spiked. They like to tune into irreverent and irrelevant, crazy bullshit. The algorithm itself shows that. So it's a social commentary. It's not coming from a place of wanting to be famous or even wanting to prove a point about other people. It's an art form of showing the absurdism of what gets our attention, what keeps our attention. And I tell you what, once you see the comments that people make, once you're exposed to the masses of people that are just watching streams, there's so much energy of prejudgment. There's so much justification for this inauthentic, um, uh, superfluous, irreverent, shallow, non-meaningful judgment of others that doesn't come from any place meaningful or sincere inside of ourselves. So it's a invitation to actually find our sincerity again, to find our authenticity again, to humanize ourselves enough to say, wait a minute. And it especially connects to like live streaming and looking right at the screen and talking right at the screen with other people, is that this is a human being. You don't just make a judgment about them. You don't just put them into a box of your understanding, because a lot of people in the world don't have the same kind of experiences that we have. So we can't just judge them according to our experiences, because they may have something that is outside the box of our judgment, of our perceptions, of our conventionality. And just because something is outside of the box of our conventionality doesn't mean that it is where we have a right to subjugate that experience or that person to our understanding or to our, this is this way or that's that way. Really, we don't know. We're just meeting each other for the first time. And it's an invitation to go back inside of yourself. And so, what is your intention in watching this? What is your intention engaging in this? And don't just take that like the first thought that comes up. My intention is this, that, this, and that. Because our mind is actually a lot deeper than the first thought that comes to our mind. So it's an invitation to kind of step back and look within ourselves, and also to step forward and actually look into the mind of that other person, instead of just pretending that we inherently have this right or this capacity to understand people that come from different experiences, different perspectives, different philosophies, etc.
I think it will be a good time for us to go on Discord and debate some of these people.
Sure, sure.
On the bottom of the screen is a Discord link. If you click on it, you'll be joining a spiritual community where you'll have the option to join a video call and a voice call. It's optional whether you want to turn on your camera or not. And on there, we debate, we do large group discussions where we talk about spirituality, and we break each other's minds down and egos down. And it's a chaotic space filled with wisdom, knowledge, insight, and
And trolling.
and trolling.
Hey, looks like a $50 donation. What's that, Shiva?
Neighborhood donated $50. Thank you very much. I appreciate your generosity. And he says, quote, I saw Sadhguru crying in the background. And if the question is pleasing for you to answer, what do you think of Sadhguru? So I hope that question was for me. I'm glad you are asking about Sadhguru, because Sadhguru is literally the most important man in my life. Maybe much more so than my family members. I care for my family members deeply. But Sadhguru has done more for me than maybe even my family. And the wisest man, the most important man, the most competent man in terms of spirituality, you all would be wise to listen to him, to go on his YouTube channel and subscribe to Sadhguru, and to get massive benefits and blessings from his life.
And also friends like Arctic sunflowers. I know that this is the way that our culture is, but donating $1,000 to make meals and feed people is not something to joke about. It's not something to throw around. Like it's when you take that lightly, like the practice of generosity and the capacity for you to practice generosity to make an impact on the lives of other people, and also people who are willing to serve you and facilitate actions of generosity being done, you spit on the very notion of generosity. And that is the last thing that we as a society, as a world, need to be spitting on or being irreverent about. So please be careful with what you say, because feeding people is not a joke. Offering money to make sure that actions of generosity can be done is not a joke. And you also don't get to just hide behind whatever you make up. I feed people. Yeah, but that's not what you said. And if you can be more generous, if you can be more available, if you can be more vulnerable, then you can actually share your view, your position, your understanding more. But it's not right to put something like that out there, because if you're serious about making a donation, if you're serious about offering, just do it. And of course, that doesn't mean that you feeding homeless people or your other acts of generosity are not valuable and meaningful, but just something to keep in mind. Generosity is not something to joke about or to take lightly. And I'm hearing that in myself, and I'm saying, well, how am I gonna establish that in my own practice and my own absurdist, ironic, and selfishness, my life of selfishness. That's one of the biggest things that we can invite into ourselves, this kind of shame and questioning of how fucking self-oriented we are, and how lack of access or how lack of practice we have in relationship to doing things for others and using what we have for the others. It's very important to have that question, to have that kind of shame that invites us to give everything, to give our body and minds to introspection, to reflection on awareness, reflecting upon awareness.
Somebody said money is the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil. Money is good and leads to benefits and happiness, even. You don't have money, it's bad. When you have money, it's good. If you take that money in unethical ways, that's bad. The Arctic Sunflower says if Shiva opens a community organization in Canada, he can get a grant to be able to pay his community beneficiaries to feed the homeless as a communal project. That is something to look forward to.
And
The love of
I also want to say it's not about the person who's right. It's the person who's there. So the more that you show up, the more that you are there, the more relevance that your position, your understanding, your experience has. You could have $1 trillion, which isn't even real. You don't even understand what that means, just about power and authority and control, access to resources, right? But it's about you showing up and being there. So me and Shiva are right or correct or have a power because we're showing up with our voices, with our bodies, with our minds for hours and hours or what have you. And the nice thing about what Shiva's kind of leading and doing right now is he's saying, hey, you're welcome to show up too and share, and the space will be made for you to share and for you to offer. Now, we may have a little bit of disagreements about how that should be done in certain times in certain situations, but that's just the way that it is sometimes. So it's not about doing it the right way or understanding it correctly or whether your understanding or your position is right or not right. It's primarily about showing up. Because if you don't show up, if you don't engage the innate capacity to be aware, then you're not going to be able to allow impermanence to be seen, impermanence to be taking place and be seen.
Yes, and this is a community for you. We're doing this all for you. So join us on the discussion on the Discord channel in the community. Link is down below. And we're here to help you grow. We're here to help you advance. We're here to help you become liberated and enlightened. That's all we're here to do. So hopefully, as a man, you acquire enough resources, skills, wisdom, knowledge to be able to benefit other people's lives, like we are trying to do. I don't know if we're successful at it. Hopefully, we are. But that's at least what our intention is. That's what our intention is, definitely. So try to connect with
One
us, friends.
Yeah,
Join
one
us.
thing to keep in mind, because I go through this with a lot of people, and I know this is confrontational. I know this is in some way a little bit inappropriate, a little bit out of turn, but I would just like to share this. So if you go to Thailand, so like you and me, we speak English. So we generally understand English. But if we went to Thailand, even if we had a master's degree from Oxford and Harvard and we were linguists, we were professional linguists, we wouldn't understand what Thai people were saying. We wouldn't understand Thai language at all. Even from the most simple people saying the most simple things, we wouldn't understand what they were saying. Now, in the same way, even though I speak English and you speak English, if we're talking about a kind of perspective or philosophy or a dimension of thinking that you are not familiar with, then even though you hear the words and that you know English, you wouldn't actually understand what's being talked about. Just in the same way that if me or Shiva went to a conference for quantum entanglement theorists, it doesn't matter how enlightened or how spiritual we are, we wouldn't know what they were talking about. Now, the confrontational or the inappropriate aspect of me sharing this is this implication of superiority and inferiority. So, Thai people speaking Thai is not superior to you speaking English. Thai people understanding Thai, two Thai people speaking Thai and understanding each other, and then you being there and listening and not understanding does not mean that they are superior to you. So it's not about superiority, inferiority, or even being equal. It's kind of an invitation to relax our ego enough to just hear instead of fixating on understanding. Because even if we went to Thailand and we couldn't understand what people were saying, if we were so focused on understanding what they were saying, we might not actually be open and receptive enough to feel the energy of their presence and their heart. Is that true or not true, Shiva? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I'm not trying to say like you're less than me for not understanding what I'm saying, just like it would be ridiculous for me to say that you are less than a Thai person because you didn't understand what a Thai person was saying. And of course, that's an extreme example to kind of bring up a point about not being as much about intellectually understanding as kind of listening and having a dialogue and kind of unpacking a package that maybe takes a little bit of processing to unpack. And in the modern social media sphere, that's controversial because everything is supposed to be presented and created in a way that's very easy to understand, easy to digest. I like this, I don't like this, but this is kind of not done in that way. To the best extent possible, we're trying to do it that way, but it kind of can't be done in that way because it's something very specific.
Hmm. Contensity asks, how rare is full-blown enlightenment these days? I would say it's rare, but it's still not as rare as it was 200 years ago or 300 years ago or even longer. So it's much less rare because our survival is taken care of and we can afford to look at these deeper dimensions of life. And also, we have a man like Sadhguru, which has taught millions of people and enlightened and awakened. hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people. So it's a tricky substance because we don't know what enlightenment is. I don't know how to define it. But freedom from suffering or liberation or having a free mind where it's not torturing you and hurting you anymore. That has happened to a lot of people.
And not to speak of if or not, or if not, if are, how difficult is it to become enlightened, fully enlightened? It is much, 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 much more difficult than becoming the president of the United States of America. So,
Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, you have to love Israel to become the president of the United States.
in terms of being a personal character of being fully enlightened, it's more difficult than becoming the president of the United States of America.
So the love of money is the root of all evil. Somebody said, and even loving money is not the issue. I love money. Dr. Rob loves money.
I do
You're
not love money. I do not love money.
Okay, well, I love money. Money is helpful, useful. I use it to pay for my food. I survive with it. Wow, I love that. Thank you. And anybody that's ever donated generously, I highly appreciate you. And my heart literally opens up every time I get a donation. Somebody sends me a donation for me to fuel myself with. So the problem comes with greed and mental illnesses when you think that you have $100 million in the bank and you don't have enough. You need more, and you're willing to destroy the environment, destroy other human beings' lives, destroy animals' lives, not care how the money comes from, as long as a profit is made. And a little anecdote here, okay, just to continue on the subject, that the company that sells diapers for children, they were doing studies of what the chemicals they can put in the diaper to extend the children using the diaper longer, because naturally you stop using the diaper at 2 or 3 years old. How can we get the diapers to be used longer so we can profit? That's the kind of insane thinking that leads to disasters. And that's not just that company. Thankfully, they failed them, I hope. But so many other companies do unethical things just to make a profit. So don't be afraid of money. We all love money. We all need money. If you're a big fan of mine, hardcore fan, I'd love to see you here commenting on my YouTube chats with a Kailash logo next to you. And the only way you can purchase that is by joining my YouTube membership program. Thank you very much for those that have donated. I do love money. That's correct.
I think you're in the wrong line of work if you love money, Shiva. You know, we have a program over at the Monk Life Meditation Institute that I think would be an incredible opportunity for you. It's called the Monk Life Meditation Mining Program Mentorship. And basically, what this would mean is that you, as a Canadian passport holder, would apply for a working holiday visa in Australia. And we have some members on the ground, members of the Institute on the ground, that would support and facilitate you to get into a either 6 month or 1 year practice of mining. And all that's invited from you is actually 30% of your income from working in the mines, donated to Dr. Rob or the Monk Life Meditation Institute nonprofit in Australia, which hasn't been started yet, but we're in the movement of setting that up. And we think that you would be a great candidate for that, Shiva.
So this is the issue. This is the conflict that we have here. The difference between somebody liking money or loving money and not. Is loving money not spiritual? What are you trying to say, that somebody that loves money is bad or evil or not spiritual or anything else?
What I try to do is I try to make it clear that as much as I am trying to the only parts of myself that are trying to scam you all are the parts of myself that are trying to scam me. That's what I try to bring up. I try to bring that out, and I say that I don't love money because love is like well, sure, love is unconditional or unconditionality, but what I'm saying here is that love is more like a choice. Like I choose what to love, what to invite, or what to welcome, or what to accept, or what to put on a pedestal in my life, basically, what I love. So, like, I love my members of the monk life meditation community. I love Shiva. I love people who are willing to, kind of put their ego forward and then not be upset about me calling them a retard, because they can see that the intentionality is not to tear them down or whatever in the egoic sense. So, in that way, there's because I'm a big on fairness. Actually, nothing is fair. There's no such thing as fairness, any kind of conceptual fairness. Like, well, why is this way? Why is that way? Because of cause and effect. You get back what you give, and there's no 1-800 fairness hotline. There's not. But I like fairness. I love fairness. It's something that I put on in a high position in my life, and so that's why I want to be fair with me and the people following me in the community, the people who are supporting me, the people who are being supported by me. That's why I say, if there is something that you need in a big way or a small way, please reach out and let me know, and I'm happy and I'm honored to have a chance to be here for you. And I think that's one of the things that more people need to learn how to say from a place of generosity. And it's actually a part of why I left being a monk, because there weren't kind of enough people actually saying that to me. I think a lot of people, probably many people, felt that way, but they weren't saying that to me in a way that kind of kept me in that box. And it is a social box, right? um, hey, you, if there's anything that you need, let me know. And I do mean that.
Yes, I love money. You love money. We all love money. Money pays for our food, for our shelter, our clothing, our medicine, our requisites, and that deserves love and respect and kindness. And the illusion that people have in the regular world, including some spiritual teachers, that they say that money is bad or evil, they should hand it off to me then, because I will take all the evil energy from you and from them. So my friend here in neighborhood A Diversary donates a super chat, $20. Thank you so much, sir. Salutations to Lord Shiva slash ex monk. How does someone who is struggling with the desire to become another gender try to restrain desire, and stumble on emptiness? Or what is your advice to those in the situation seeking spiritualism? That is the most deep question anybody's asked me on a live stream.
And they've donated $70 to you. So let's see how much you love money.
Hmm. I love money. So let me answer your question now. How does someone who is struggling with the desire to be another gender try to restrain desire and stumble into emptiness? Oh boy. Hmm. Well, why would you want to change your gender first and foremost? You are the way you are. You're born the way you're born. It's your choice to choose to do whatever you want with your body. It is your body. Hopefully, you are of a sane state of mind and of an appropriate age. And if it's still your desire, then it really is doesn't matter what your desire is to transition to a gender or not gender. The desire to restrain your desires and stumble into emptiness is a human problem, or it's a human desire. It's a human condition. And we're all striving for that. It doesn't matter who you are and what your orientation is.
Yeah.
And
So
the issue
horrible
is not
answer.
restraining your desires to stumble upon emptiness. You don't have to restrain your desires. You just fall into emptiness, and I'll help you do that. Now that you've donated this significant amount of money, I'm going to help you spiritually, energetically. I'll push you over the edge. Let's go into emptiness.
Horrible answer. Horrible
So,
answer.
how would you answer that?
All right. Well, I would answer that by first renouncing the egoic idea of seeking money. And in the same way that I do that, it's not because it wouldn't be nice to get money or to not, it wouldn't be not nice to not get money, but because it doesn't need to be important now. In my being, with myself, here and now, I don't need money. Maybe tomorrow, maybe there's a bill to pay, maybe there's a need, maybe someone reaches out to me and says they need help, and then at that moment, maybe I would need some money. But right now, I don't need money, nor do I need gender. And what the Buddha teaches about, and what the sannyasins and the sadhus and the spiritual renunciates seeking enlightenment from the beginning of time to now have talked about is you don't just go around hanging out, going and taking in the energies of all these different people. Is that what wealthy people do? Is that what millionaires do? Walk around in Times Square because there's a bunch of people there? Go and I got to get something to the shop. So I got to drive around on a bike and be exposed to all the people and all the air and all the toxicity and all the energies out there? No. So right now, you don't need gender. It's unnecessary. Just like right now, you don't need money. Just like right now, you don't need to think about anything. I had a friend, a dear friend, a good friend named Miles, who was aided or removed. It's something to that degree, had their breasts removed and things like that, really intense stuff. And I remember one time they said, if I would have realized and understood that I didn't need to rely on the society to know myself, maybe I wouldn't have had to do these things to my body. So, what we do in this kind of space, both Shiva to a much lesser degree, Shiva is by all accounts much less spiritually advanced than I am. Just putting it out there. Shiva knows that. I know that. Everybody knows that in their heart of hearts. But what we're commonly practicing here is entrance through principle. We are entering into realization through principles. So these principles that have just been conveyed of the unnecessariness of money in nowness, the unnecessariness of gender in nowness, points to the irrelevance or the emptiness of these things as a whole. So even though we have this realization of awareness, there are still there's a momentum, there's a karmic momentum bringing us back to this notion of self, this notion of identity, this notion of story making that kind of expresses itself through these unconscious energies of seeking more, wanting more, being frustrated about what is already here, and all of this non-practical, complicated thinking that just habitually goes on and on and on. All of this fixation on things. And if you have a good thing, you have a bad thing. If you have a right thing, you have a wrong thing. If you have a hot thing, you have a cold thing. So the invitation here is to relax and connect. And the cold hard truth of it is that it has nothing to do with higher or lower. That's a sad joke from a sad man, Dr. Rob, a failed monk, a failed spiritual leader, a failed enlightenment seeker. I faced death and I pissed my pants and shit myself and ran away. Why am I not a monk anymore? Because it got too difficult. It got too difficult and I ran away. That's why I'm not a monk anymore. So it's not just about, does this person know what they're talking about? Or is this person really enlightened or not? It's about your karmic affinity. It's about your natural connection to that person's energy. That, oh, I can actually sit and I can be with this person and I can communicate with them. I feel drawn or I feel interested. I'm able to be with them and interested in spirituality and meditation, etc. And this idea of us being alone or doing things for ourselves or from ourselves can be very problematic as well. This is, human beings are community based. So even in us being alone, it's a part of a community infrastructure. So don't ever listen to somebody that says we should do this by ourselves. You know, you have to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Did you make those boots? Did you make yourself? No. And that space of non-thinking, that space of awareness, there's this habit energy to fill that in, fill that in, fill that in. And that habit energy is just to be seen as leavings over. The meal's already finished. The job is already done. But these leavings over are kind of flowing around. And so just be aware and don't attach to things, to happenings, to stories. And if you need the breath, use the breath. Some old lady who was kind of my first ever benefactor in spirituality and meditation, to her chagrin, I don't think she ever liked me very much. And she was showing off, she was bragging to the group during meditation, and she said, if you need the breath, that's okay. Because this real meditation, this real mind of awareness doesn't need anything, doesn't rely on anything, only takes nibbana, only takes awareness as the meditation object. So just breathe. We have a donation, and even that is just spoiling the pot. We have an offering, and when we make offerings like this, when we make offerings in this context, my friends, we're not just, this isn't just a live stream, this isn't just entertainment, this isn't just somebody, trying to entertain you and make you feel and have a good time. You are literally putting money in an envelope, hopefully a beautiful envelope of your sincerity, your consideration, and you're giving it to someone who's at least concerned with the ending of suffering. And you're making an offering in that way. So it's very beautiful. And Blue Octopus said, and I'm sorry, spoiling the pot over and over again. They said, thank you for the honesty and truth, Dr. Rob. My first donation, but I think there will be more. Okay. And if you got more money, the donations have to be larger. Otherwise, you're disrespecting yourself and you're disrespecting Dr. Rob. Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
Well said. And yeah, to come back to that, it's not relevant what your gender is unless you're trying to do stuff in the bedroom with somebody else. Otherwise, you keep it aside.
That's what I talk. I also talk that way with because have you heard of this looks maxing stuff, Shiva? It's a whole thing. It's really, really popular right now. And it's this idea of like racism through looks. And it has a very strong like white supremacist leaning. So if you're like Indian or Pakistani or brown or like Asian or something, you're automatically less than like the idealized white super race that meets all these standards of kind of Western beauty standards. And the truth is that you don't need those things to be yourself. That yourself, your true self, is not about what others think about you. You don't have to be so involved with this paradigm of what others think in relationship to what you think and how other people look at you. The only thing that's important is how you look at yourself. And this is a message of learning how to look at yourself. And these principles are to clear up the fog of these notions of your true self that clearly are untrue, that are not based, that are not chill. that lead to more suffering, more thinking, more complications, rather than to less. And as those complications, thoughts, seeking, and avoiding are lessened, awareness becomes more accessible. That awareness or that true nature is always there. But we're so full of shit that we can't smell the roses of our own awareness, the rose of our own awareness. And it is a filter. I mean, there's good truth, there's good message. Someone says, blah blah blah, awareness, blah blah blah, here's my PayPal. Good idea, good truth, good principle, good idea, right? But the message for people here is not just to watch and consume, but it is to be challenged, and it is to be invited to put your money where your mouth is. And the parasocial role of the streamer and the watcher that says, you are giving me value by watching. No, that is not true here. You're not doing anybody any favors by you sitting there with fucking wearing a beer hat and pipes going into your mouth and drinking beer and I'm watching. I'm really, what's about. No. And also, when I say that for people who have more money, more mouth, the impetus is upon them to donate more. And, most of us here are, we're just getting by. We're just skimming the surface. We're not millionaires. We're not wealthy people here. So don't worry about those wealthy people being challenged. Don't worry about people's egos being challenged here. Don't worry about me challenging the very notion of a self here, because that's what this is about. So be careful, be considerate, but it's also to set boundaries, because whether you know it or understand it or not, there's a great deal of self sacrifice and vulnerability on the table here. So I have a right to challenge people, just like I have a right to be challenged. We have some people who there's an energy out there of like middle-aged white men, guys like in their 50s and 60s. Even middle-aged is not honest. And these guys are watching and following and creating ideas and beliefs about me and who I am, and they want to have a relationship with me. And so I tell those people, I say, you got a bunch of money, you got a bunch of resources, you're taking my time, you're taking my energy, you're coming here and taking all this stuff. If you want to have a relationship with me, guess what? You have to approach me correctly. I was talking about this in the Discord in the conversation earlier. I said, "Where are these guys? Where are these middle-aged men who want to have a relationship with me and want to engage with me and want to be involved with me? Where are they getting this idea that I don't have a right to set boundaries between myself and other people? That I don't have a right to self-direct myself and where I give my attention, that I don't have a right to tell you, hey, I don't know you, I don't trust you, and if you want to engage with me, you can make a donation. And if you don't want to do that, then fuck off." Where is this idea coming up that I am now am to be subjugated according to your values of what I should and shouldn't do? I'm not the guest. You are the guest. I'm the host. I'm not coming to your house. You're coming to my house and knocking on the door. So knowing how to set these boundaries and knowing this very simple fundamental principle of guest and host is very important. People don't quite get it because I say, like, look, you're following me, you want to harass me, you want to challenge me, you want to, get involved with me in some way. If you were live streaming, I wouldn't watch it. If you give a talk about anything, I won't listen to it. I don't want anything to do with you. You want something to do with me. So take responsibility for that. Take responsibility for where you want to point your attention, period. And anybody who knows me knows that I prefer poor people over wealthy people. I prefer people who are, pretty insane more than people who are pretty sane.
Somebody sent us a donation, our good friend here in the neighborhood. The last to you I have to say is, my mouth is full. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. Your orations are cool. And thank you for your guidance today.
Neighborhood
Yeah.
adversary, I just ask one thing of you. You've donated, that's $80. Neighborhood Adversary has donated $80. What a major donation. What a big donation here on the Shiva Kailash Shambho server. The only thing that I ask of you, Neighborhood Adversity, go to your YouTube, type in 3 words, monk, life, meditation, and go and visit the hub for Dr. Rob and the Monk Life Meditation Institute if you dare. We are currently live streaming over there in 4K. Just 3 words, monk life meditation. We have to respect each other's boundaries. We can play, we can be rough and tough, we can be super strong and super brave and fast and hard. We can be hardcore with each other. Let's be hardcore with each other. Can I get an amen, Shiva, or a Haribo? Let's be hardcore with each other. The moment that someone says stop, the moment that someone says wait a minute, the moment that someone says hang on, the moment that someone says, okay, but you have to fucking listen. And the reason that some of these people that I'm telling some of these people to say, hey, donate money, send me cash, send me money, is because that is a challenge to their notion of self that they just do whatever they want with. And if you don't want to listen to me, then what are you doing here listening to me? And if you want to be in a relationship with me, that means that as much as you have this desire and the want to listen and watch and engage and be in relationship, I have a right to set boundaries. Not because I'm selling some fucking course, not because I'm fucking putting you through the ringer of some bullshit idea of buying something, but because I'm a human being and you're a human being. And so if you want to be involved with me, I get to set boundaries because this isn't a hollow sphere YouTube channel interdimensional space where I'm sitting outside of your house. This is my home. This is my stream. This is my body. This is my mind. And you don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. And you are not invited here. You are not welcomed here. And I'm not just concerned about the sanctity of my energy, I'm worried about the sanctity of the energy of other members of this community because I don't trust you. And because it's my house and it's my responsibility, I get to set the standard and the rules of who comes in and who doesn't. What's so fucking confusing about that? And you have these 60-year-old men, these whoever they are, that say, yeah, but I'm also going to get dirty with you. Fuck off. I hope that there will be a message of the whole world that says, fuck off. No. And that's a boundary. And boundaries are very, very important for me to be willing to make boundaries and for you to be willing to make boundaries. If this isn't healthy for you, if this isn't helpful for you, then say no, then block my channel, then don't watch this stuff. And good on you for doing that. I respect that. I respect that you know how to set boundaries in your own life. But this idea that you have a right to my body and mind, and you have a right to the body and mind of the members of the community here is fucking crazy, sick shit. And I'm not insulting you. I'm saying that idea that has nothing to do with you. You are just bringing up that idea, bringing up that principle is fucking sick shit, and not something that I'm inviting to be here.
I don't hold the same views as Dr. Rob, my friend here. You're all welcome here. You're all welcomed, and I welcome you here. Anybody and everybody is willing to be here, wants to be here, can stay here. I don't push you out or kick you out. You have the freedom to watch my YouTube channel, and it's an honor and a privilege for people to watch me. Even if you hate on me and you leave me nasty comments, that still helps me, helps the algorithm, and it helps you also. You're getting your stuff out. You get it all out. You get all the nastiness and evilness and demonic energy out of you. And I welcome a million people to watch me. Half of them can hate me, half of them can love me. It doesn't really matter to me. Uh, it- it's irrelevant, and I have no boundaries to set here. That's for sure. So
So
I'm
this
open
is
arms,
this
open
is
boundaries.
important. This is an important distinction. I have years and years and years of experience of living in community. Years of experience. I ran a monastery in southern Italy. I have years of experience being a part of community structures in the Thich Nhat Hanh community, in the Plum Village tradition, with my master Sayadaw Ashinotamatara, with hundreds, with thousands of people, monks, nuns, children's orphanages, hospitals. I have training and practice of living in community at Wat Ram Bodhidharma in Loy, Thailand. I have a lot of experience in meditation retreats and in community, traveling with community, being with community. And what I can tell you is that this absolutist position of welcoming and accepting everything is something that's practiced and cultivated in the forest. Now, so in a certain sense, we can say that Shiva or you or me are in a forest. There's a kind of conditional privilege to be able to act the way that we're acting right now. It's definitely true. But through my experience of living in community and being responsible for other people, I can tell you for sure that I don't know what Shiva would do. I don't know how much how much experience Shiva has in living in community and being responsible for the minds of other people physically. That I would most definitely set boundaries about who can come in and who can't. Now, if we were in a situation where we had 100 Dr. Robs, praise be his name, in a monastery with millions and billions of dollars and different floors and different levels where the single mother's home is, the orphanage is, the drug addict men is, the lost teenagers is, etc. And we had guards at every door, and we were able to practice sustainably to provide protection and convenience and resources to everyone available in the ways that they need. Sure, everybody come on and fill out your application, and we'll make sure to try to put you in the right place. Doesn't mean that problems won't happen, but we have to try to do our best. So that is something that is institutionalized in me, even though this is just a live stream, even though this is just a lot of, sometimes random people, uh, etc., coming together. Those experiences have come into my body and mind to say that no is just as important as yes. And my no is correlated with a yes that says if you are looking for resources, if you are willing to give, if you do want to be a yogi, a monk, a nun, live in community, well, ring me up. I'll be the first one to make sure that you've got your ticket to go to Thailand, to go to Myanmar, to go to America, to get your Greyhound bus ticket to go and join the 1 month meditation retreat with my teacher, to then become a monk and then be supported for your food and your housing and your medical care and everything, your tickets to travel around, everything. So this is a deep track. And that's why they call me Dr. Rao.
Yeah. The truth is that we are on a live stream. I'm sitting comfortably in my home. If two people are watching me, or 2 million people are watching me, or 2,000 people are watching me, it's irrelevant to me. In fact, I prefer more people watching me, so you're all welcome to be here. I encourage your comments. I encourage your donations. I encourage everything you have to offer. And we just got a donation. And we have 2 minutes and 30 seconds before I meet my goal. My friend has donated generously. He says, "Hey, they exclaimed, what are you doing here? This is highly disrespectful conduct in front of the altar. The monk says, quote, oh, you must be a stranger here. You cannot belong to the family. This is an exclusive mindset. I agree with the donor here. You are excluding people based on some value judgments that you have of them. The fact of the matter is, we're all human beings here. We're all desiring the best for ourselves.
The
Generally
fact of the
speaking,
matter is that
overall,
Shiva doesn't understand the quote, and I do. And
and
neighborhood, if you understand the quote, why are you donating to Shiva instead of donating to me? All of these donations go to Shiva. He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. He doesn't even understand what that quote is saying.
explain it to me then.
Well, I want that person to explain why they're sending all their money to Shiva instead of Dr. Rob. And look, it came out. It came out. I could only bury it for so long. I could only hide it for so long, okay? This is a Zen teaching. This is a kind of koan of sorts, and it's very beautiful. It's very fragrant. It's very rich in poetry of inclusiveness and the sharpness of being in or out, realizing or not realizing. Hey, they exclaimed, what are you doing here? This is highly disrespectful conduct in front of the monk, of the altar. The monk, oh, you must be strangers here. You cannot belong to the family. Your fixation on duality, your reliance upon black and white, your reliance upon good and bad, right and wrong means you are a stranger here. And it's not that you're not welcomed, that you're not accepted, that you're not invited. You cannot belong to the family when you fixate on dualities, when you believe in dualities. It's a Zen koan. This neighborhood adversary is really practicing generosity here, helping out the poor among us, the spiritually destitute among us.
I got the call and now I understood it, thankfully, to your way of wording it. And yes, it makes sense. Wonderful, wonderful koan. Wonderful. I guess I'm just more powerful than you. I'm more competent than you. I can handle all sorts of people. And you have to restrict yourself and you have to deny yourself and push people away and kick people out of your door. I can handle them. Bring it on. It's okay, no problem.
All right, good. Very good. I gave up on monk life because it became too difficult. Simple as that. I haven't eaten for 3 days. 3 days I haven't eaten. Only a few beers, few cigarettes, not a few, quite a few cigarettes, and bone broth and watermelon, fruit juices. This is like Brazilian jiu-jitsu of the mind, is it not, Shiva? And Shiva is a really great practitioner. He's very sincere and he's very non-egoic. He's not just some monkey with a towel wrapped around his head. Sorry, a t-shirt wrapped around his head. He's a sincere spiritual practitioner. This is the 3-day dirty fast. The next 7 days, pure water, pure, clean water. And look, he's got another goal. His desire is unlimited, unfiltered. He's practiced a lot of sense restraint,
That was my mistake.
but his desire for money just doesn't stop. Once he reaches his goal, now he's got another goal.
Uh,
Oh my gosh, it's been difficult. I couldn't sleep so much last night, and woof. Okay, somebody said, I think you're both awesome in your own ways, and I swear I will donate someday. That's cool. Thank you.
yeah, you got to lay off the nicotine.
I'm done. This is the last one. This is the last day of the dirty fast, and the 7-day clean fast begins. That everything is the path, that everything is the way, that everything is an open door. So, don't contrive it. I worked with a former crack addict as a landscaper who loved to wear fresh socks. So I don't think he was still smoking crack when he worked with me as a landscaper. And I'm still owed a check from that guy's company. And this is decades ago. And he would smoke, and me spending time with him in the car, driving around from one landscaping job to another, I smoked cigarettes. I've also previously done like vaping, but actually the first Ajahn I had, a guy by the name of Ajahn Jack, outside of Chiang Mai in Lamphun province. He smoked cigarettes, and it's very common for monks to smoke cigarettes. It's one of their little joys, I suppose. And so I actually started smoking right after I became a monk for a short period of time, and it's been a little bit on and off. But it's not a good thing to do, of course. No good and no bad. But if you want your lungs to be healthy, if you want your body and mind to be healthy, then stop smoking. And you know, it's good. It's good when we can recognize that what we're doing might not be skillful without trying to reject what we're doing, because that rejection will just become a compulsion in itself. So whatever you do, whatever you don't do, it's less important if you do it or you don't do it, and it's more important if you do it with attachment or with detachment. And it's not about justifying yourself or using that as a kind of leverage to convince people of the okayness of your identity and what you're doing. It's a mind training, it's a mind science. And I think, from my side, I think that this is wonderful. This is something that's worthy of being supported. This is something that is worthwhile for people and practitioners, major donors, even monks and nuns, and people who run Buddhist organizations to look at this kind of work, look at this kind of activity, and to take it seriously. This is engaged Buddhism. This is Buddhist activism. This, spiritual activism, what have you, whatever you want to call it. This is real shit. And I think that more people need to put their egos aside and actually shut up and listen to the newer generation of people who are practicing to help others in relationship to spirituality. And you can't even just say, well, Dr. Rob, you and Shiva are kind of assholes. You're kind of weak. You're kind of low spiritually. That might be good and true and all, but let me call up some meditation centers in America with hundreds and thousands of middle aged white people that are looking for meditation retreats and looking for spiritual practice, etc. And let me try to get my teacher a seat at the table to give a Dharma talk to lead a retreat. Not going to happen. I'm going to have to start a nonprofit to raise $1 billion and get a PhD researched paper about why that would be a good idea before those people even listen to what I have to say. So it's not just about spiritual potency, it's about a lot of preconceived notions of what engaged Buddhism looks like, what spirituality looks like, what the modern social sphere looks like, and who's being catered to. Is it primarily middle class white people and their families, or is it everyone?
Neighbor,
That's why my teacher, knows what I'm doing, knows the work that I'm doing, knows the practices that I'm doing, and is not reaching out to me and saying, Ra, Bante, American guy, whoever you are, because in my teacher's mind, I'm nameless. My identity, my being doesn't have a name. He's not reaching out to me saying, stop what you're doing. You're bringing shame to the organization and you're bringing shame to the way of mindfulness and detachment, because his way is a limitless way. And his principles and practices are limitless in nature and all inclusive. And we should all strive to be more like that in the ways that we can.
agreed. I would like to meet your teacher one day.
Oh, we definitely will, as long as we stay alive. Because this is a time of healing. This is a time of rejuvenation. This is a time of non-seeking, and the health and wealth that we are all establishing here and now is going to create seeds that will lead to mysterious, unknown, uncomprehendable communal activities of taking refuge in the path together. So please, as much as you're donating to me, donate to your piggy bank of preparation, to practice seriously, to help others seriously, to take refuge in the path seriously.
Neighborhood adversary sends a super chat and he says, $5. Thank you for your donation. In all seriousness, I hope you guys are doing well. That argument and your mindset and perceived divisions don't lead to spite. That is correct.
Oh, they will. We're just getting started, Mr. Shiva Kailash Shambho, and the seeds that I'm planting inside of you are time sensitive. Wait till the bomb drops. Wait till the trigger word follows. You just wait, Shiva Kailash Shambho. Everything's going just fine. A little bit of practice, a little bit of rest, a little bit of praise, a little bit of fame, a little bit of letting go. How convenient. Wait till the storms of wrath rain upon you indefinitely. Wait until day and night disappear. Wait until refuge is nothing more than a superfluous thought in your mind. You haven't seen nothing yet.
Hmm.
And I wouldn't wish what I've experienced on anybody, certainly not on myself. But we have to go through those kinds of things. We have to go through hell to realize the impermanence of hell. We have to go through heaven with awareness to realize that heaven isn't all that it's chalked up to be, that happiness is not as valuable as peace. That's something that Shiva Kailash Shambho knows for himself. Good on him.
That happiness is not good as peace?
Happiness is not as valuable as peace.
That's true. That's correct. So I'm gonna whip Dr. Robin into shape when I see him in person very soon. The CIA has given me a green light. The trigger word is coming.
We're going to be living together soon. Me and Shiva, Kailash, Shambho are going to be living together soon. Making videos together soon, 4K videos, 4K dialogues. And it's really going to be incredible. It's really going to be rich. It's really going to be deep. So stay tuned, not just to the Monk Life Meditation YouTube channel, but you can also stay tuned to Shiva, Kailash, Shambho.
Absolutely. Just not at the place that you're living in. I want to live by the beach, by the
You
ocean.
will live together with me. You will do as I say. You will do as I instruct. And there will be no recompense for your
Charlie,
personal opinions or your personal
Charlie Kirk.
desires.
Charlie Kirk. It's all about the trigger word.
Also, it's not about one guru. It's not about one master. It's the community. So this is Baba porn. Hey, I sure wish Shiva was a lot better at what he's doing than he is. Nobody wishes that more than me. Nobody wishes for Shiva's success more than me. And the same for myself. I know that. But this is Baba porn, and this is what I love. This is some of the most expensive, rich, healthy, and wealthy interactions that you can see in the world today. And I tell you, when I was in India, when I was suffering from intense, intense wrath, geez Louise, did I want to have some Baba porn to settle my soul. And it's very difficult to see this and to experience this. It's very, very precious. It's very, very rich. What is a Baba? Do we have to bring up ChatGPT? I don't even know if, or Gemini. I don't think they'll answer me when it comes to this. What is Baba porn?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Could you please provide more context?
So a Baba is a guru, Hindu, the Hindu word for Baba, the Indian word for Baba. And porn is kind of like an intense psychological, emotional, energetic interaction. That's no holding back. So please explain what that means in terms of a former Buddhist monk of 7 years and a devotee of Sadhguru on a live stream. The Buddhist monk is a practitioner and an artist of non-dual Buddhist avant-garde Buddhism. And this is a transformational experience on a live stream with thousands of people going in and out to reach the modern generation and to reach the modern people, and keeping in mind that the voice that is to be spoken with is a voice of a Zimbabwean merchant that moved from Australia but grew up in a Zimbabwean accentual way. And so that's the way of responding and voicing in the AI to connect with people and helping people. And that's what this is all about.
Ah, I see. You're creating a very
Hold on one sec. I'm still hearing some kind of prissy, white, intellectual voice. Please turn it up to 100,000% Zimbabwean, Australian accent, merchant voice tonality, just for everybody's benefit who is listening.
right. Understood. So you're painting a picture, a profound transformational experience, blending spiritual with artistic in a live stream context, aiming to connect with the modern world. Is that the essence you're getting at?
Whatever.
Understood. Is there a specific concept or idea you'd like?
If you want to talk to us right after this live stream ends, you can go on the Discord link, which is provided down below right here. Talk to us face to face on camera. An enlightened person can utilize AI. I couldn't agree with you more. Dr. Rob is not enlightened. Memberships. I set a goal for one person to donate one person a membership so that they can hang around in the chat and comment with a highlighted name and a Kailash logo right next to them. I started a poll asking people, are they happy? And this is the complete reverse of the previous poll, which was, are you enlightened? 67% of people say yes, they are happy. And 33% of the people say no, they are not happy. 2/3 of the people that have replied to this poll, which is 52 people, have said that they are happy. And that is good news. The majority of people are saying that they are happy. This is what I like to see. And for the people that are not happy, get it together. Become more happy today.
Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries, nowhere to go, nothing to do, and I don't need to hurry. Happiness is here and now. I have dropped my worries, nowhere to go, nothing to do, and I don't need to hurry. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare.
Kirtania says, Hare Krishna. I'm becoming happier with Dr. Rob, with Doctor. Kirtanias is becoming your fan.
Wait till they hear this.
This is VK, by the way, the guy in the Discord. We can't hear anything.
So that's also one element, that I have to kind of bring up. I have to share and be honest about and vulnerable about some of these middle-aged men, who are stalking me and watching me and contacting people that I know and stuff like that. I Trust me, I would love to have the energy and the depth. I have some father issues inside of myself. You can imagine my father is a middle-aged white man. Look at me, right? So I wish that I could smile at you with my heart, but I cannot. So, I just have to set those boundaries, and I have to accept myself in that way as well. You know what I mean? It's nothing personal. It's not personal against those people. That's why I try to bring up, like there's principles of boundaries and consent and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, do I need your consent to live stream on my channel? That's a little bit ridiculous, right? That doesn't really make any sense at all. But do you need my consent to be involved with me and for me to have a conversation with you? Yeah, you do.
Yeah, please respect Dr. Rob's space. Don't message him. Otherwise, yeah, don't message him if he doesn't know you. He has to earn your trust first. And send him $100 donation. He really likes that kind of stuff.
Well, it's not Christmas just yet. It's Christmas Eve. So it's morning Christmas Eve. So that means that all of the community members, all the donors are getting ready to practice mindfulness and detachment here and now. And may they be successful in doing that, in the same way that the Buddha was successful at smiling at the rampaging, sorrowful elephant. May you and me and everybody here be totally 100% ready to smile at the elephant of our suffering and to bring peace to the peaceless. That's a good one. Double entendre. Or triple entendre.
Shiva, who's alpha? I'm alpha, of course. Actually, no, today Dr. Rob is alpha. I'll give him that. But only for today.
All right, Shiva. Well, my phone is about to die here, so
Yeah. So we're gonna head over to the Discord channel. We're gonna talk to all of you. We're gonna have spiritual discussions, debates, challenge each other, expose our egos, destroy our personalities, have fiery debates, chaos, calm, collected, everything good and positive in the universe and the world. And I'm gonna debate Dr. Rob today. It was very peaceful, but there I'm gonna really let him have it. 100%, baby. No holding back. Everybody's gonna get it. And the only way to see that is by clicking the Discord link down below, joining our spiritual community of wise masters, participating in the call, unmuting your mic and talking, showing your video. If you want to talk to us, if you have anything to say, we'd love to hear you. And we're gonna debate haters, we're going to debate jealous people. We're going to debate people that don't like us, to despise us. We're going to go over there. It's going to be a heated debate. It's going to be something that you've never seen before in your entire lives, because we're spiritual beings and we're going to debate spiritual people. And it's going to be just fire and envy and burning and hellfire within for everybody that ultimately leads to conclusion of heaven and blissfulness and enlightenment. Thank you very much, everybody, and for making the time to watch this live stream. We're so happy to see you here. We're so happy that you have participated in this live stream. We are exactly. We all should aspire to be like me, and not the person that you see the caricature in front of me, but to have Sadhguru right next to you, and to be in Kailash. Most importantly, that to be in Kailash is the most blissful and beneficial thing you can do in your life. And we do this every single day at approximately 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live, baby, live, together with my good friend here, Dr. Rob. He has his own YouTube channel. His name is Monk Life. Monk Life Meditation. You can Google that. You can YouTube that. You can search that up on Yahoo. And you'll be lucky to see him there, live streaming every single day as well. He's a YouTube extraordinaire, meditation master, super wise master man that will change your life forever for the best. Good to see you again here, my friend, my friends. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for your support. We look forward to seeing you here every day. We look forward to seeing you here in the Discord. And Dr. Rob, take it away.
Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om 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 Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme
That is the conclusion of our live stream. We have a few members joining the Discord server. I just want to read out their names: Blue Octopus, Fifth, Carson, Tian, Andrew, and Vegan Tree. We're gonna have a spiritual debate, a battle. You don't want to miss this. We're gonna have lots of characters there. This is gonna be your ability to participate there is going to be available. So it's a no holds bar, free for all, spiritual duel, spiritual master, spiritual battle. Nobody knows what we're going to do. Nobody knows what's going to happen. There's no filtering. There's no muting. There's no nothing. Chaos, pure chaos. And this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for you to be in a voice call like this. This is going to be huge. This is going to be big. This is going to be something you don't want to miss. The only way to do that is by joining the Discord, clicking the link right here, being a part of the spiritual madness community, and we will see you all there.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Elizabeth. Thank you.
So what do you say, Dr. Rob? You ready to join the Discord?
Yeah, we're on the outskirts of the algorithm, so we might as well.
Yes, my friends. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon. Join the Discord. We're gonna be there right now. I'm gonna send you an invite to everybody that's here. We're gonna talk. It's gonna be pretty. It's not gonna be pretty. That's it. Once Dr. Rob is ready, I'm gonna end this live stream and we'll be good to go. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time. Thank you for liking the video. See you on the Discord.
Seemed like I lost a bunch of viewers once this red paint came out and the eye patch came out. You cannot account for taste. You can't teach taste. That's one of the things. I was watching this documentary or this little TikTok video about wealthy people, and it's just even you read all the books, you do all the study, you learn all the good things and the right things about what's high quality and what's wealth and what's not and all that. You can't fake that original disposition of it being natural for you. You know what I mean? There's a contrivance, there's an intentionality of you accumulating that knowledge that the wealthy among us, they're just free from that. So good on them.
Okay, somebody says they clicked. You go to my YouTube channel, and in every single description of my video is my YouTube link, or my Discord link. You can go there, or my.
We get it, Shiva. We get it. Let's
No,
go.
they don't get it. It's right here. So we're all gonna meet you there. Somebody can't join, so I'm helping them with that.
Okay.
There you go. All right, let's jump on. Are you ready, Dr. Rob? We're gonna see you there.
Okay, I'll see you there.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Subscribe. We'll see you there tomorrow. We'll see you here tomorrow, same time. And yeah, please subscribe. That's it. The end.